Welcome to the channel. I'm Zach Walker, your Texas local lender, and today we're going to talk about the 5 places in Texas that you absolutely must visit that you've probably never heard of. Number 1 is absolutely going to blow your mind, so be sure to stick with us all the way to the end. Okay, let's get started with number 5. Number 5 is a place with a funky name that I have a hard time pronunciating because I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. But the Shangrila Botanical Gardens and Nature Center, coming out of Orange, Texas. The Shangrila Botanical Gardens and Nature Center is a public collection of gardens and species of birds and plants and so on and so forth. In 1942, they created the garden. They opened it to the public in 1961. Contains over 300 plant species and a bird blind to view all the nesting birds. Now in Texas, when you hear bird blind, you think Benelli shotgun, 3.5-inch shell, steel shot, because that's what we do in Texas. We hunt birds. But not at Shangri-La. Not a good idea. It's bird habitat. It's protected. Don't bring your shotgun. Let's go to the number 4 place in Texas that you've probably never heard of that you absolutely must visit. And this one is Texas to its core. This one is called the Beer Can House, and it's in Houston, Texas. How much more Texas can we get than 50,000 beer cans adorning a house? Now, if you're not looking for this place, you're probably going to miss it, right? And so this guy worked for the Southern Pacific Railroad back in the day and got tired of mowing his grass and doing the maintenance on the house. And so he just took concrete and redwood and made all these landscape features. And then he started taking his beer cans and using them as vinyl siding. So he's had 50,000 beer cans that completely wrap around this man's house. No Shinerbach was injured in the making of this house. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 coming out of Austin, Texas. Now, if you've never been to Austin, Austin is notoriously a weird place. In fact, its slogan is Keep Austin Weird, and it's a well-deserved nickname. If you've been down there, like I have, there are certain places, 6th Street, that you probably don't want anyone to find out what you did once upon a time in a place called Austin. And so it naturally fits this next attraction because it's weird. It's called the Cathedral of Junk. Now, a man built a shop that he calls a clubhouse. So a man with a clubhouse in his backyard is naturally going to be a little bit weird. And he has, over time, collected 60 metric tons of literally junk. He started in 1988 and it's been evolving ever since then. He's got cast-offs, car bumpers, beer signs, ladders, cables, clocks, you name it. If it's junk, he's got it. The locals rallied around this effort because it's Austin, and they would bring this man junk to just put in his backyard. So over time, the Texas landscape has intermingled and intertwined with this man's junk yard, if you will, no pun intended, and created tunnels and passageways and walkways and different places for you to be able to walk around back there and really get intimate with his junk. Number 2 is one that I am quite passionate about. It's the second most important place in Texas that you must visit that you've probably never heard of. And it all centers around me as a parent, my quiet time. If you're a parent, you know that sitting on the toilet is probably the quietest time you're going to get throughout the day. So my toilet seat and I, we have a very close relationship. Well, Barney Smith takes close relationship to a whole new level. In the Colony, Texas, there is a place called Barney Smith's Museum of Toilet Seat Art. Can you imagine? 1,400 poo frisbees that Barney took and adorned with artwork, hand painted, hand adorned, hand just curated and turned into hanging art. It gives Christmas tree ornaments a whole new meaning, right? But he's got 1,400 of these things, and he did it until he was 97 years old. Barney Smith said, "I appreciate them wanting to show my work and put it on display to show the world what I did for 97 long years of my life." His wife must absolutely adore him. And drum roll, please. For number one, let's go to Aurora, Texas. In Aurora, Texas, once known as the Roswell of its time, it's only natural that there is an alien gravesite. That's right, I said it. An alien, a Martian gravesite. So the story goes in 1897 that a mystery airship, as UFOs were called at the time, came crashing through a windmill that happened to belong to a U.S. judge into the ground, where it then destroyed the good judge's flower garden. Poor daffodils. The locals were quick to rush to the aliens' aid, however, and were able to drag what they called a petite Martian body from the wreckage, which they then in turn buried under the shade tree at the cemetery, because hey, all aliens need a good Christian burial. So if you're looking for a place to visit, be sure to go to Aurora, Texas, and check out the alien gravesite. There's a headstone and everything. It's absolutely nuts. These are the 5 places in Texas that you absolutely must visit that you've probably never heard of. In the meantime, make sure to smash the like button, hit subscribe. We will see you next time.